Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Tay. We are celebrating Black Music Month in all that it has. Y'all know I had to call on a few of my friends to tell ask shit. Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Tay. You know we are honoring the excellence which is Black music this month for the month of June. And so y'all know I had to call on a few of my friends that know a little something about Black music. Tonight I've got my boy, Dr. He don't know I'm gonna do him like that. Dr. Ramzie, editor-in-chief of Snubbed magazine. What up, Ramzie? How are you?
I'm good, Tay. How are you?
I am doing good. It is June. We are celebrating Black music. It's Juneteenth.
I know.
It's Father's Day. It's a lot of things going on this month. And so I'm happy that you were able to join us to tell us a little bit about what Black music means to you and Snub Magazine. So, my first question is the question I'm asking everybody. Black music mean to Ramzie?
Um, Black music is the architect of who I am.
Mm,
I come from music, so it's a way that we grew up. It's a way that it uh, raised me, whether it was gospel, whether it
mhm.
was R&B, whether it was a good old school, like we've talked about before. On a Saturday, you knew you old school was playing while you was cleaning up your
Listen,
room.
you better, because that was like the sound the alarm. Like when that music
Right.
got to playing, you better get up.
It was either that or someone was praying real loud in the house. So it was one of those two things. But it was something, like I said, that molded me into who I am. And being that I came from an era where I got, and I'm grateful for that. Being from an era that I got to see, I'm gonna kind of like age myself with it. I got to see my parents have the 8 tracks. I got
Mhm.
to see my parents have the cassette player. I remember pressing the play and record at the same time.
You
On
you you probably made a mean mixtape. You was
I
a
love
mixtape
making them. I
master.
ain't gonna tell you, there was a tape that I made. There was a well, I'm gonna just tell me and my sister. There was a make love tapes that me and my sister would make back in the day. And you had to wait. You had to wait till the radio station played that song and you knew it was coming, and then you pressed it real quick and you knew you had to do it like right on time, because if you didn't, it would
You'll miss
skip the first beat.
that little first part.
Right,
Right, right.
right.
That's how
Um,
I promise you, that's why our generation knows music from the initial beat. It's
mhm.
because we had to, because you're like, as soon as it did, you're like, oh, that's
Yeah,
it. They about to play. You had to do it that way. You had to do it that
yeah.
way.
So
So,
seeing the tape go to CD, then from
yeah.
CD you saw it go into like the whole little. I remember us running to get on LimeWire. God forgive me for that, but we was
I listen. I really thought I was a DJ during live.
oh, that, and then even if you think about it, when we started going into the whole internet phase, and then we was building these MySpace pages and putting the music on top of it to tell how we feel. So music has always been incorporated into who I am, and now we're in stream. So I'm grateful that I got to see all of that, because even with kids nowadays, you see them talk about streaming and stuff like that, and it's like I have fun growing in those eras, and even like I have vinyls that I put
Yeah.
up that I have, so it's just amazing to see how music has transcended, but it also raised me as well. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially Black music.
Definitely. Definitely. Right? It made you get up on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, right? And it's amazing how Black music kind of sets the pace in the Black family, right? I
Yeah.
was talking to somebody else and they were saying, parties and celebrations in your family, whether it was a family barbecue, a wedding,
You
card
them
party,
line dances, them
that
line
part.
dances.
Even back in the day, we didn't realize it was a line dance, but it was a bus stop. You know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
the Soul Train line, or whatever the case may be. But music really influenced, or when you think of music, Black music, that's why it kind of allows us to kind of all be on one page. A
Yeah.
song come on in a place, and you
Hmm.
could just see everybody, just like, peach perfect strangers will start
Hmm.
singing along with one another based off of a song. And I
Yeah,
think that's really what makes Black music powerful too.
it's also brought up when you say that, my first little breakup, I guess you want to call it. I still remember the song and everything. It was H Town Emotions.
Oh, emotions make you cry sometimes. Ooh,
I
look at your whole body.
when I listen to that, it immediately goes to like that moment, and I remember where I was at, how I was looking. I was so hurt. I don't know what. Nowadays, I'm like, if I play that song, I'm like, all right. Like, it still hits though, I still play it. Now it's like, okay, I remember that day. But yeah, Emotions from H Town. That was my little breakup thing. That was like my first breakup.
Oh wow. If you could play a song back to that person now, what would that song be?
They ain't made it yet. Or my parents are watching and I gotta be careful.
Hey y'all, hey mama, hey y'all. No, right. That part. Moving on, right? Moving on. And so your publication, Snub Magazine, amazing. And so when we think of your magazine, how do you all approach the coverage of Black music and its influence on culture, entertainment, and lifestyle?
Well, number one, we don't focus on the whole gossip side of it. We don't look at damaging our culture. I think there's already enough brands that are out there that constantly enjoy writing about people arguing or battling each other a certain way or tearing each other apart. I do understand. We do understand that there's a culture in even like in rap when you see the beef happening. We love seeing that because it's like, okay, that's kicking people's levels up of who they are, and we saw that growing up. But it's also there's moments where it's like, it can go too far in the music world. And we don't want to be like that. So we decided to make a platform that no matter what the person is going through, what they believe in or who they are, at the end of the day, it's still our people. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter, I could sit with anybody and have a conversation with them because number one, I respect you for even putting yourself out there. It's not easy for us in entertainment to put ourselves out there because people are going to always criticize. So we wanted to make a safe haven for individuals to just come to us and just be that platform that, takes the negative and turn it into a positive. So especially Black music, we have just even on our set, it's the music that creates the moment. We ask the people, like even with when we do our shoots, we ask in our when we send out our information, like what's the type of music they listen to. So we set the mood before they get in there. It's just who we are as individuals.
I love that. I love that. Not only because of the fact that you all take a positive spin, because when we think about it, if it's a Black publication, the rest of the world is already going to tear you down, the non-Black. So why would you want your own people to tear you down in the midst of, a trying time in that artist's life? Or like you said, the rap battles and beef, we've seen it in fun, and we've lived in a time where it ended up not those artists, but other people that took it a little too far have,
That's funny. That's funny you brought that up because I remember watching the Vibe Awards and the Source Awards, and if that whole group got on that stage, you knew it was about to go down.
The shiny suits, y'all want to go with the shiny suits? I was like, oh no, he didn't.
Yeah.
But again, that was a pivotal part in our culture in the music industry, and so you've been you've been around for a while. What trends have you noticed in Black music over the last few years?
I've noticed stuff being recycled and reused again. Some of these beats that are coming back. That was like, wait a minute, that's this song, that's that song, and it to me that just shows that our music is lasting. We can and how we can recreate and keep that music alive. I know some people are like, oh, I don't like the remake. I don't like the remixes and I don't like this. But in my head, it's like, yeah, sometimes I may not like it, but at the same time, it makes the person, if they really go back and research, they're going to know who was the originator, and to know that it still came from Black music. It still shows that they kept it going. And it's goes from generation to generation.
I
You know,
love that. I
so
love that.
I like to look at it in those matters, and it opens the doors for new artists. Like you
Mhm.
get to see the new artists that are coming out and seeing their growth as an entertainer. And then my favorite is when they turn around, like even at award shows, um, you hear the beginning of the song, and then the original person steps out in the middle.
Love
Saying that's it's like oh like they actually connected with the real person that was made into that. And I think that's a beautiful moment to share with someone. You know.
I love it. And you bring up a good point in the fact that it really keeps the legacy of that song or of that artist going. When I think about hip hop, right? When hip hop first started, I'm not quite 50, but I'm pretty close. I've never known a time when hip hop was not in existence. And so when I think of the originators of hip hop and how during that time they didn't think that hip hop was going to really stick around, right? It was just
Yeah.
some kids that were putting some words together, X, Y, and Z. And to see now that there are millionaires and how rap has really influenced a whole culture, a whole nation of
Yeah.
people, I love to see them pay homage to the originators because
Yeah.
those people aren't getting the financial accolades because it wasn't prevalent in their time.
Yeah.
So I love that they go back and pay honor to those particular individuals because without them, we wouldn't be where we are today, right?
Absolutely.
And then from an R&B perspective, recently Wanye has kids, and I was
Them
listening
boys
to
can blow.
one of
Them
the
boys
and
can blow. Them
I
boys
was
can
like,
sing.
who
They
is singing this? Like they are amazing. They are like
they
phenomenal,
are. Yeah.
and the fact that they are able, Tevin Campbell, who, he was one of my faves coming up, gets younger generation gets an opportunity to kind of see the marriage of what we grew up on and make it their own to date. So people say, is R&B music or is black, what is the future of R&B or black music? What would you say to that?
We're in a day and age of social media.
Mhm.
And people may have say how they feel about Instagram, TikTok, and all these other different platforms. But when you think about it, these kids are making dances to our music.
Yeah.
These kids are making us trend. They're bringing us still to the forefront. Um, they're doing things that some of us couldn't even do back in the day. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like we would get in trouble if we did certain dances,
Yeah.
the percolator and all that. We're not gonna go
Ooh,
there.
child, let that beat drop. I think the last sometime.
But yeah, like it's there's different doorways I feel like this generation has that they can take it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Like they have all the technology that um just brings our music to a higher level. Even when we see it now in concerts, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, we thought it was crazy when they would just fling up from the bottom of the stage. You know what I'm saying? Now we got flames and everything all over the
People
place. Whole
flying
production.
in,
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
But just to see how it's gravitating and grabbing different people, it's I think we're okay. There is certain things that's like, oh, like we have our
But we
moments.
had those things when we were coming up,
Yeah,
right? But I had to
but
think,
people don't admit that.
yeah,
People don't like to admit that we've had those moments. We've had those scandals. We've
oh,
had several things that would happen. Like we were real for I feel for us, we were more big on the breakups. Like when we saw
oh.
like when certain people would break when that Usher or Chili happened,
I was
or when,
he ever. And then, that's why Burn, that album, right?
yeah,
They say, because we were like, is he telling us what happened?
right,
Like, we
right.
need to know. Like, we need to
Confessions, all this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so yeah, I definitely think I appreciate for my age group coming up in the time that we did. Um, in my opinion, the 90s was the best time of music ever. Just because we had a little bit of this, like I mean, you could like hip hop, you could like R&B, you could even like heavy metal. Like I
Yeah,
think our time frame of coming up we just had good music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the industry had a lot to do with that because we didn't have so many restrictions on things. And now I almost feel like everything sounds the same, everything is kind of the same. And so I was talking to somebody else about the versatility of the artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody is like so much the same. It's sad because we came up in a time where you might have had Eve looking one way, but Lil Kim, like it was, everybody was just so different in their appearance.
But even like I even put on that well heck I even got one of my girls. I
Left Eye,
I
yeah.
love Left Eye. Left Eye was my big
Left Eye.
Left
And
Eye was
happy
my
late
crush,
birthday,
y'all.
heavenly birthday there. Yeah,
Yeah, Left Eye was my crush. Like that was my crush. Like,
yeah.
like she was plaster. Her and Little Kim, they were plaster. I love them. But you could tell also where people were from back in the day.
That part.
The
That part.
female rappers, you knew their camp, who they were with. You knew when Little Kim was gonna be sexy when she came down the escalator with the fur coat. You knew what she was gonna do. Yeah, you knew when the brat came out how she was gonna spit. You
Yeah.
knew how Missy was gonna flow with the way how she just. It was so future. It's still futuristic when Missy touches things. You knew that Left Eye was gonna just be blunt when she says certain things, but then when she was, and one thing I respect about her too is she crossed over, and a lot of people didn't see that. She was, working with white people, Asian people. Say she was just in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, you would know where different people were from, the coast, the West Coast, East Coast. And then I was also telling people that like you don't see it no more, but it used to be first ladies of the camps. You know what I'm saying? Like who the first lady of Rough Riders? Eve was the first lady. You know what I'm saying? Like you knew when they walked into the room, and I don't know, it was just something to see like even the men just protecting their female, like that woman that walked in.
But she could hold her own. Like for me, I used to be the only female in my crew, and I kicked like a, so and I could appreciate that the home girl in me. I liked being able to know, like you said, they had a first lady in their camp, and it was okay. It wasn't that they was trying to just be with the dudes. It was like that was their family, that was their sister, and they just wanted to make sure that she was good. And it's
good, yeah.
Where I'm happy the female rappers today are standing on their own. I do think back then when they had the first lady of the camp, there was a greater respect for women that I don't see as much now.
And I feel like there should be also, we saw a lot of females. So some people, they may not have seen a lot of females, but to me, I saw a lot of females just own who they were. Like, and they had their own style, their own. There wasn't a carbon copy of like, oh, this is how this is. And then we didn't have social media, so we had to wait for the magazines to drop to find out what was the recent thing and what the beef was, or we had to wait for the song to drop. Like we were waiting months to hear what your disc was going to be. Like that's how we found out. So, but like I said, I just think that it was their creative style of how they approach things. And if we be honest, a lot of the females are copying if you look at the styles that are out. I've seen several times people use, even with Left Eye, the whole 3-band when she did it on No Scrub. Like a lot of girls did it nowadays, but they're like, a lot of people don't understand that they're paying homage to it, but then they're like, oh, they're trying to, for this generation, I feel like whenever someone is either paying homage or they look similar to somebody maybe back in the day, they don't see it as sometimes not paying homage. They see it automatically as someone copying them.
Right.
Well, if you look at half of the stuff that many of us are doing anyway, is the same thing that like I've heard my parents several times like, y'all brought those back in style. Like that you wear wait, let me see these pants. Like, the big pant, the big bell type, they're back with the whole back cargo. We wore those things,
Right.
So yeah.
It's nothing new under the sun. It all circulates back, right?
Exactly.
Well, thinking about magazines, right? So with your publication, I remember coming up in the day, we would get Right On magazine. You would get your Ebony, your Jet. The
Yeah.
Jet had the music of the week, and so
Mhm.
you would look to see, ooh, who's the top person, X, Y, and Z. How do you think publications have changed regarding their coverage of Black music from back then to now?
Um, to be truthful, I actually, it was funny is I actually have the last printed copy, one of the last printed copies of Jet. That's
Mm,
it. Like I'm gonna always value that. It was their last issue. I just have it. But I think back in the day, we would see a lot of people on the covers.
yeah.
Nowadays, we see the same people over and over. Um, whether it be they're at this publication, and then 2 weeks later the same person's on the other publication because they're dropping a new album. But there's other people in this world that are working the same way, that we need to put out on these platforms. And I think that's what I respected kind of back in the day, when you would see like Word Up,
Yes. How could I forget Word Up?
and you would pull out your poster and you would post them up a certain way, but you would see different people on those covers. In the music world now, it's kind of to me like the same people over and over. Even when I walk past the stands, it's like, oh, okay, well, there's that person, there's that person. And I
Mhm.
love those individuals, but
You
they've
expect to
you
some
want, yeah, I want to see some up and coming, and I think that that's also taken away from, um I was telling, we was having this conversation with some of my friends. It's also taken the whole thing of when we used to deem icons and legends.
Mm,
Remember back in the day, we would watch award shows and James Brown. You saw Michael Jackson come, and
a
with
great.
yeah, and they would do certain things and deem them as the next king of R&B, the next king of pop. We don't see that no more. So we have these individuals still in these places, but no one's deemed anybody next. And now we're all like, oh, they're the queen of this, they're the king of this, and it's like no one's that person
Nobody
never
did do that.
passed it.
Who
and
told you that?
and
Right?
everybody's battling like, who's this, who's that, so it's interesting to see. So I think a lot has to play too with publications. Like our media is the people who are the forerunners of saying who's next,
Yeah.
and we have to be careful about who we say is next, because they may just be a one-hit wonder just because off of that one song, so yeah.
And be careful with that. You know what? That's a good spin. You just took me back. When I think of shows, like I remember watching Motown 25. Some of
Mm-hmm.
y'all won't know what I mean when I say this, maybe, but VCR tapes. And I remember I told my mom, we gotta tape it, we gotta tape it. I think I watched that thing till the tape bust because I wanted to see, I was trying to learn how to do that. Michael, that's when he debuted the moonwalk. And I figured I gotta learn how to do those things, BET or Soul Train Music Awards, little things that those award shows really meant a lot to us. And I think with social media now, it's so easy. Like you said, we don't have to wait for anything because it just drops. It just drops. It just drops. So shout out every PR person, shout out every marketer who has to get creative in this day and age to come up with how you're going to drop your artist in a world of social media, because
Yeah,
that's a different type of skill set that you have to have.
it is.
Um, and we've had to pivot in that, and they're
And
doing a job, but
that's good that you bring that up. That a lot of people don't understand that as PRs behind these camps.
mhm.
It's not the artist sometimes responding to y'all.
Right. People be like, "Oh my gosh, what's
Yeah,
up
like
with
they be like,
that?"
oh my god, this person said this to me, and it's like, yeah, it's possible they could have, but also do understand they have a whole team behind them, um, and sometimes it's an accident slip. I know I did it before. Sorry. You'll see something and double tap something. I remember I just saw an interview the other day where they were asking Tina Knowles. They were asking her like, why does she get in trouble sometimes by Blue? It's like, yeah, because sometimes I think it was like something like she sometimes have tapped the wrong. Like she'll see a picture of her kids, and
Mhm.
she's like, oh my god, they look great, and not knowing it's a bad caption underneath it. But she But it happens, you know?
My baby. I just
Right.
have
That's,
to tell
yeah. And it happens. So a lot of people, that was a good thing that you brought that up, like how the PRs have to spin on it because PRs got to come in at those moments and clean those moments up.
you
Um,
exactly.
so yeah,
Now everybody screenshot. Well, Mama knows we know she liked it. Now she went back and unliked it, and now you got to try to figure out
especially
what
some of these other publications, these other media, they are fast as hell. Like it'd be 2 seconds and you
happened.
you're like, wait, how did they even get? Like, I wasn't even paying attention to. Oh, this person unblocked this person. Who is sitting following and look? Like, are y'all sitting there staring? Like, oh, today they're not following each other. Okay, let's see. Like,
I
that's
want to know how
wild.
they get paid off of that because I got to tell you, as a person who works and runs their media and social media, baby, sometimes I don't have time to look and
Right?
dig to get into all of that. So, yeah, it's definitely a different day and age, but let's take it back. So we're honoring Black music this month. And so you said some earlier. You said about cleaning up the house. What is a song memory that you can recall that your parents played while y'all were cleaning up?
Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
Ah, you knew it off the top.
That's one of my sister's favorite songs, and she was born in September. And I think the song is right the 21st of September, right? That's her birthday.
Do you remember? You know.
That's her birthday. That's my sister's birthday.
And that's her jam. Hey, shout out your sister. Maybe you cleaning up the house this weekend too.
Yeah, that was I'm like, wait a minute. I just thought like I'm playing this song. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. That's crazy. Like my age now, I'm remembering like, oh shoot, that's her birthday. Yeah. So,
I had no idea at the time, but literally she did because that's probably was her favorite part.
I got some questions now.
With that, right? That
I got some questions. What was y'all doing on a certain Saturday 9 months before that?
And on that note, let's move right along. So to close out our tribute to Black Music Month, I have a few questions to ask you regarding Black music. My first one is, who are your top 5 female R&B artists or groups of all times? I will let them go together for that.
Female side, you said, right?
Female side.
Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for these. I know people gonna bash me. And this is not in no particular order.
Thank you for the disclaimer. No particular order.
No particular order.
Right.
R&B female. One of them I will say, of course. And a lot of people I'm sure will be shocked, but I will say Brandy.
I love Brandy.
I love Brandy. I love Monica.
Very good. Those are always amazing.
Yeah.
Shout them out.
Jasmine Sullivan.
Of course.
That girl's runs are crazy. Of course, I would say Whitney Houston.
Yes.
I love Whitney Houston. You said 5 people, right?
So you got one more.
Oh.
So you gave us Whitney, you gave us Monica, you gave us Brandy. Who was the 4th person? I done forgot that quick. Lord, maybe you got 2 more.
I said Brandy, Monica, Jasmine Sullivan.
Jasmine, how could I forget Jasmine?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to my Aries sister, who I love. I'm gonna give it to Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Mimi.
Mimi. This Mimi. One thing I gotta say about Mariah, it's funny you say Mariah Carey. People can say what they want to say about Mariah Carey, but when you look at Mariah Carey, the evolution of Mimi clearly, when she came out, Vision of Love, we have went through so many different stages of life, but the thing is, she can still sing. Y'all say what y'all want to say, and everybody, whether you want to admit it or not, you was rocking that Christmas album. Baby, that Christmas album.
She's still the queen of Christmas. She's the queen of Christmas.
Yes, that part.
She owns Christmas. But even with her, like, I think the one thing I like about these women too is their pen. Jasmine Sullivan can write.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, besides her catalog, she has written a lot of things. So I think that's why I like seeing people. I think those women, when you talk about like Brandy, Monica, like Mariah Carey, all those women came up during a time where they had to be like a triple threat.
Yeah.
They had to be in different arenas. You know what I'm saying? With Brandy, she had to come out beyond acting, singing. And then she ended up being our first Black Cinderella. Like there's so many things that these women became that paved the way for a lot of things. So yeah, I would have to say those women. Like I have to say Aretha though. That's my girl.
I was gonna say I was wondering who
Aretha
your old
Franklin.
school was, but okay,
Nah,
I'm gonna go
Aretha,
past with that. Okay,
Aretha,
Riri.
Aretha,
There we go.
Aretha and Diana.
Riri.
Yeah, Aretha and Diana Ross. Them my
Yeah,
girls.
yeah, those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Ross, who's still doing big things out here in
That's
these.
my birthday twin.
For real.
Yeah, Diana Ross.
All
It's
right.
funny because Aretha's March 20th. I'm March 26th. Aretha's March 25th. Diana Ross is March 26th, and then Mariah Carey's March 27th.
All them powerhouses. All y'all are powerhouses in your own rights, and they all say what they want to say and mean what they want to say. So, including the one on this interview. So, moving
Right.
on.
Don't tell the people that.
I don't even have my sound effects going. All right, so if we gave it up to the females, it's only right to give the fellas some love. So your top 5 male R&B artists or groups of all time. And no particular order. Disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen.
Males?
Yes.
R&B, I think someone that really has R&B and he doesn't get enough credit because of the slip-ups that he had is Chris Brown. I think that boy is that man is very talented. He is very talented. And I was kind of hurt when he didn't get to do the Michael Jackson tribute.
You know, I'm from Virginia.
That was not it.
And cried because
the only person that could have killed it like that. Oh.
Because there's so many greats. Everyone has gotten me about this. Because
I listened to it the other day. I'll say Tank. I like Tank. When he sang.
Pause. Tank. Do you like? Oh, so how long you been rocking with Tank?
Like slowly.
Okay, there we go. Okay, okay, got it. Okay. Let's Tank. No offense, bruh, but take it back to some of those. That was a hit. That was good.
Like, I deserve. Like
that was, he
like,
was singing.
You were sitting there like you're right. You was standing. You would want to stand in the rain too and cry and be.
But I like I Can't Make You Love Me. I think he did an excellent job on that make, and that's a So shout out Tank. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Luther Vandross.
Big Luther, big little Luther. You know, you gotta say it.
Excuse me, Miss Luther. I like Big Luther. I think Big Luther. I mean, when he started losing weight, it still was, But I think.
But I needed the sweat to be dripping off his.
Yeah, like a house is not a home, like that. Yes. Like that was something.
And shout out Jamie Foxx, who I hear is getting ready to, because I've always said we've never got a tribute story to Luther. Like we have.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
And so Jamie Foxx, I think I read somewhere, is about to produce that and get that together. My pick is Ruben Studdard. Ruben Studdard, I feel like can definitely pull off Luther. So,
he definitely could.
He got it.
Plus that Tank, Luther, Chris Brown.
So you got 2.
I'm messing up on these fellas. I already know it because I'm probably after this interview. I'm like, wait, why did I say?
Well, you never know. I can edit in the caption.
Right. I apologize.
And it could be groups too.
Groups. R&B groups. Oh, that's a tough one. Because I like both Jagged Edge and 112 back in the day. I did like them.
Okay. All Two good picks.
Yeah. As far as like a group goes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's oh. I like seeing, I'm not gonna lie. One person that I wish would come out with like way more music and I liked him back in the day was John B.
Y'all better know that John B is black. Contrary to popular belief, he is definitely on our side. Him, Robin Thicke, it's a few of them. That I don't care what y'all say. Don't y'all dare say
I
they is definitely coming.
love
So,
John B. There were
yeah.
certain pictures back. My sister and them would like, they used to like play around and call me that little John B thing. Like it was.
You do. I thought that when I first met
But,
you. I don't want to say it.
but yeah, I like John B. But yeah, if it, of course, if it has to be in our culture and who we say we are, the final person I probably say was Maxwell. I love
Okay,
Maxwell.
that's good. That's a good one. That's who I think is coming out with some new music pretty soon. But
Yeah.
still is a concert hit every single time. He whether it's the same song over and over again, he still hit
Yeah.
with that. So that's good. And so John B still counts. So I just want anybody that is watching this, I want nobody trying to come because John B counts and it is not up for debate because we've embraced him more than the other culture. So he with us. He one of us.
love his
He's
music.
definitely one of us. And definitely, pretty girl. Now you got me thinking when I hang
Think
up.
about it.
I'm back and play my John. Tell me if
Listen, I'm already. You got me. I'm the type that'll sit there and be in the middle of the night making a whole new playlist, and I'm already thinking like, what playlist I'm gonna turn up in a minute. I need to start charging folks. I didn't start charging folks like how I used to do when I had LimeWire. Y'all want a disc? But
if these gas prices and stuff keep going the way they are,
right.
y'all don't have to bring it back because I was the mix. That's what I used to want to really be a DJ because my mixes, people be like, how you remember that song? Because if I would stay up for hours and just hours and hours and hours, just finding songs and letting it take me back. And so, shout out to all the music lovers that are watching this. Tonight, I'm gonna encourage you, or whenever you watch this, just go back and pull up your playlist. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create your master playlist. What you playing? Take us back and let's all just jam out in honor of Black Music Month. So, Ramzie, I appreciate it because you busy and you big time and all that type of stuff. Doctor, I'm trying to tell y'all.
It's not yet, you guys.
Well, I'm a prophetic.
It's almost time. With the robe is sitting over there.
Well, I appreciate you. So before you go, let everyone know your name and that you're celebrating Black music or celebrating Black Music Month with Tay.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Levar, aka Ramzie, and of course, I wouldn't choose no other person than to celebrate Black Music Month with my good sis Tay.
Hey, I thank you so much, and y'all stick around. We're gonna be celebrating more. It is Black Music Month here on Live with Tay. Until next time, y'all. I'm gonna see you outside.